the Greys made contact with a world governmental body for the first time in 1933 in Germany. However, they were turned away by the German government because it had already committed itself to involvement with the Giza intelligence, a renegade group of human extraterrestrials that were headquartered under the Giza Plateau in Egypt. They were predominantly Pleiadians. They were on their own, doing their own thing. Ashtar, Kamigal, and even Jehovah were a part of the group for some time. They came down here and played God with us. People worshipped them because they had technology which they used it as their power, big time. During the 1930s, the Germans were building rockets and starting a space program due to their contacts with the extraterrestrials of the Giza intelligence. The technology developed, however, was used to create weapons because the German governmental body involved were concerned that there was going to be an alien invasion. The Giza intelligence had told them that the Greys were here to invade, but this actually did not occur. Plans for weapons such as sound devices, lasers, neutron bombs, particle beam weapons, etc. were designed. Although many of these weapons were not created until much later in history, a lot of other technology was shared with the Germans by the Giza intelligence, like how to do anti-gravity, free energy, etc. The United States was the first to open its doors to the alien race known as the Greys. I have been told of only one contact in 1934, where the Greys made their presence known to the U.S. government, in the state of Washington. I don't know the particular details, but somehow the government knew that the Greys were there. It wasn't until 1947 that actual contact occurred with the aliens and United States officials. The first face-to-face contact was due to the shooting down of an alien craft, namely the Roswell incident. This pressed the Greys into a contact earlier than they had actually anticipated doing themselves. After the crash in Roswell, the United States, the Soviet Union, and the British, at the very highest levels, became blood brothers. By the way, none of these governments knew what Germany was really up to. The Germans were very secretive about their contact with the Giza intelligence. The Roswell incident created more of an urgency to develop a true space program to defend the Earth. The United States and the Soviet governments thought that this alien presence could be a threat, because these aliens were so technologically more advanced. But the Greys, in their own fashion, really backdoored these governments through deceit. The true space program, this underground program that we are just now beginning to hear about, was originally financed by members of the Club of Rome. Now, you'll need to do some homework to find out who those members are. And don't be surprised at who you see. We will talk more about that later, when we discuss the moon. Prior to this, in the 1850s to the 1950s, 100 years, there had been some utilization of cattle and humans in experiments by the Greys. The NSA, which was created in the 1950s, learned that the Greys were responsible. In 1952, the U.S. government prepared itself for the realization of ongoing alien contact when our military radar system started to down their craft. The Greys knew that in order to perform their experiments on such a large scale, to save their race, they would need the cooperation of a high political body. In other words, they had to come to terms. A select politically structured body, created secretly within the United States government, was designed to be the liaison between the Greys, the technological gods, and the Earth humans. The military was very enthusiastic for communication with the aliens, in hopes of exchanging technology for raw materials. This liaison group, this political structure, is and was the NSA, the super-secret national security agency. For contact and study of the aliens was its original purpose. In May of 1954, at the Holloman Air Force Base, the United States government made a formal agreement with the Grey alien race. Some of the terms of this agreement were the exchange of technology, of anti-gravity, metals, alloys, and environmental technologies to assist the Earth with free energy and medical application regarding the human body. All the Greys asked for in return, was to be allowed to study the human development, both in the emotional consciousness makeup, and to reside here on Earth. This single act of signing a contract with an extraterrestrial race was the most significant act in human history because it launched us in a direction we were never intended to go in the first place, and it thrust us into a role that we were not prepared for either. Being hosts to an alien race. Essentially, what this contract has also done, has handcuffed the Andromedan Council and those benevolent extraterrestrial races from being able to take a more active role in the Earth's evolution. It has placed the burden squarely on the shoulders of humanity to enlighten itself of the facts, and to consciously create ascension on an individual basis. Because this particular treaty was agreed upon between the aliens and the Ultra units in the NSA, which actually is a government unto itself, they in effect turned away help from outside benevolent races that we could have obtained before. Now pay close attention, because this is the first time I've ever mentioned this. The particular document and original exchange material may be found today in the NSA facility, called Blue Moon, under Kirkland Air Force Base in New Mexico. Its exact entrance is in the Monzoni Mountains. This location houses the private Department of Energy Technological Labs. Currently, the building of free energy devices for use in space and on the Moon and Mars is ongoing, in this particular area. Much of the alien technology has been reconstructed and sent via a connecting tunnel to Los Alamos and an area located underneath the cliffsides of Los Alamos Canyon, where huge vaults are built into the earth. This facility is 29,000 square feet in size. There are also laboratories equipped to study light, thought and pure energy there. This facility is also used as a jail for aliens captured by the black secret government. Corporations that are currently assisting the aliens and the black government are Standard Oil, Lockheed, Northrop, McDonnell Douglas, Eden-T, the AA, Matthews Construction Company, the Robbins Company, the Utah Mining Company, and numerous more. The NSA is exempt from all laws in the United States unless the NSA itself is specifically mentioned in any creation of law. This is due to its interaction with aliens and its sometimes necessary infringements of civil rights and constitutional rights of the American people. In other words, to make it exempt from breaking any laws and hurting anybody here, they made it completely separate. And it is completely separate, even though your tax dollars pay for the running of it. There was also a great deal of private money used by the NSA to build the alien technology and to keep humanity under control. The status quo is secure. Even the CIA doesn't know much about the Ultra or Blue Moon units of the NSA. These are the two highest units the NSA has that deals directly with alien technology and information. Now realize that the Greys are genetic engineers, though not the only ones. Most of the aliens from off-planet are genetic engineers because they value life forms as opposed to gold and silver. Genetics, life forms and things of that nature is their wealth. A lot of the genetic engineering and experimentation is going on here, on Earth and on Mars moon Phobos, by the Greys. They are using this opportunity to try to satisfy their own agenda, which is to create DNA and genetic stock that is clean enough to foster new physical life forms that are capable of regeneration and birth for their race. As of right now, the Greys are most interested in female genetic stock because all family lineages follow the female rather than the male. Why? Because you always know who your mother is, you may not always know who your father is. Many new races have been created this way throughout our galaxy. It's not something that's new going on here. This has been going on for a very long time. Few races today have actually remained as pure genetic stock, with the exception of two races that the Andromedans say are really genetically clean. That is the reptilians from Alpha Draconis, and the other is what we call, or know as the Elohim, which are a very ancient race of humans that survived Lyra. All other races are a varied degree of hybrid or mixture of races of different genetic stock. Another point is that, the Greys themselves would like to be free from the Orion Empire. They will have no chance of survival themselves if they do not create or match their body type or genetics with ours. You see, time is quickly running out for them, and we as a race is also evolving at a tremendous rate. On a spiritual conscious level, we are evolving dramatically, making our genetics harder to use while they are dying out like there's no tomorrow. And they are very aware of this fact.